Hey everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going deep on AI,
Oh,
artificial intelligence. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. You see it online, you see it in the news,
it's
people are talking about it.
yeah, it really does feel like it's taking over everything.
It really does, and it's one of those things where it's like how much of the hype is real and how much of it is just, hype.
Right, exactly.
So we are going to be taking a deep dive into a really cool episode of TrendTalk USA. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a great podcast
I love that one.
that breaks down complex topics. So
Yeah,
that's what we're going to be doing today.
yeah. They do such a good job of like taking these really big ideas and making them easy to understand for like anyone.
Exactly.
Oh, right.
And that's kind of our mission today, too, is we want to make sure that you leave this deep dive feeling like you actually understand AI a little bit better.
Yes, absolutely.
So the episode is called Decoding Artificial Intelligence.
Nice.
And I think a good place to start is with, one of the biggest myths about AI.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, like where do we even begin with this topic? It feels so big.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Like, let's debunk some myths because there's so much fear-mongering out there.
Yeah.
And I think Trend Talk USA did a really nice job of just like taking a step back and saying, okay,
Yeah.
what is this really all about?
Yeah, they debunked the whole, robots taking over the world thing right away,
Exactly.
which I think we all kind of,
Which we've all seen the movies.
yeah, we've all seen those.
We all have that image in our head.
Yeah. But they really broke it down. And one of the things that I really appreciated was they used these really great analogies to kind of explain these complex concepts.
Oh, definitely. The analogies were so helpful.
So, for example, ChatGPT. Everybody's talking about ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah.
They compared it to something that we use all the time, advanced autocorrect.
Oh, that's good.
It's like, you're trying to say something and
It just like cleans it up for you, makes it sound
makes it better. Yeah.
more professional.
Yeah. Makes it sound like you actually know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
And then deepfakes, which is another thing that people are kind of freaked out about. These like really realistic fake videos.
Yeah.
They called them digital puppets, which I thought was like the perfect analogy.
Oh, yeah, that makes so much sense.
Right. Like you're controlling this image, this person,
Mm.
and it's not really them.
Right, right.
And then algorithms,
Oh, yeah, those mysterious algorithms.
which, everybody's like, what is an algorithm?
We hear it all the time, but like, what does it even mean?
Yeah. They explained it as like the chefs of your social media feed,
Okay, I like that one.
deciding what you see and when you see it.
Makes it sound a lot less intimidating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really helpful just to kind of like get a basic understanding.
Yeah, definitely.
And another really important point that they made is that AI at its core is essentially math.
Right. It's not magic, even though it kind of feels like magic sometimes.
Feels
It's
tight.
just math.
It feels like magic, but it's really just like patterns.
Patterns and calculations.
Exactly. It's like data and
Yeah. And this is where I think people get tripped up because they think that AI is sentient.
yes.
Like that it can think and feel, but it's not.
Yeah, that's a really common misconception, I think. And it's understandable because we see these systems that can generate text that sounds like a human
Right.
or create images that are just mind-blowing.
Right.
But it's important to remember it's still a tool.
Right.
It's a tool that we've created.
It's a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Exactly, like hammer can build a house or it can, cause damage.
Exactly. So that's where the conversation gets really interesting because you have all of these amazing applications of AI.
Yeah, the potential is just
But
incredible.
then you also have the potential for misuse.
The dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Trend Talk USA did a really good job of kind of exploring both sides of that.
Totally. They went on a little roller coaster ride of like cool and creepy.
Yes.
It was fun. So on the cool side, they talked about how AI can be used to create art.
Oh, yeah, like breathtaking art. Have you seen some of the stuff that's coming out?
I know, it's incredible.
It's insane.
It's like, how did a computer make that?
Right.
And then, in the medical field, AI can be used to help doctors diagnose diseases.
Yeah, they were talking about how it can actually like spot tumors in scans.
Yes.
Like tiny little tumors that a human doctor might miss.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And then even predicting droughts for farmers.
Oh, wow, yeah, to help them plan their crops better.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Like, AI can actually look at weather patterns and say, okay, there's probably going to be a drought in this area.
Oh,
So you need to, maybe plant different crops.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. But then on the flip side,
The creepy side.
yeah, the creepy side,
Dun.
they talked about how AI is being used to create fake voices for scams.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is scary.
which is like super unsettling.
Yeah. Like, what if you got a call from your mom and it sounded exactly like her, but it wasn't actually her?
I know. And, they were talking about how people are falling for this because it's so realistic.
Yeah, because how would you even know?
You wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And then another thing that they brought up that I thought was really interesting was the whole issue of students using AI to write essays,
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
which like really makes you think about like the future of education.
It does. It's a
Then
big ethical dilemma, too.
it is. They actually shared a story about a teacher named Sarah
Okay.
who received this like perfectly written essay from a student,
Oh, no.
but it was totally devoid of personality or original thought.
Like, it was just bland.
And it turned out that it was generated by ChatGPT.
Of course.
So it's like, can we really consider that learning?
Right. Is that really education?
Yeah. What happens to critical thinking
And creativity.
and creativity if AI is just doing all the work for us?
Exactly.
So that was kind of like a big oh wow moment for me.
Yeah.
Makes you really think.
Yeah. And it really drives home the point that, like, AI isn't just this abstract concept, it's actually impacting our lives in some pretty profound ways.
It's here and it's affecting us now.
Yeah. Yeah. And TrendTalk USA kind of, they highlighted 3 key areas where they think AI is going to have the biggest impact.
Okay. I'm curious.
Yes.
Lay it on me.
And that's jobs,
Okay.
privacy,
Mm.
and power.
The big 3.
Yes. And let's start with jobs because they threw out this statistic that like 40% of jobs could be automated by 2030,
Whoa.
which is like
That's a lot of jobs.
a huge number.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
Yeah, and it's not just like, factory workers or truck drivers.
Right. It's not just the blue collar jobs.
Yeah, they're talking about like lawyers and marketers and even people in tech.
Wow. So like white collar jobs are at risk too.
Yes. So this is like a major shift that's happening.
It is. Yeah. How do we prepare for that?
Right. And I think a lot of people are feeling really anxious about this.
Absolutely.
Like, am I going to lose my job? Right? Is a robot going to replace me?
Is robot going to take my job?
Yeah,
And that's a valid concern.
it is.
But I think what Trend Talk USA was trying to get at is that it's not necessarily about jobs being replaced. It's about jobs evolving.
Okay, so it's not like we're all going to be sitting around with nothing to do.
Right. There are going to be new jobs that are created.
Okay, so what kinds of new jobs are we talking about?
Well, that's the thing. We don't even know yet. Because the technology is evolving so quickly.
It's hard to predict the future.
It is.
Mm.
But I think what we can say for sure is that the jobs of the future are going to require skills that AI can't replicate.
Okay, so like what kinds of skills are we talking about?
So things like creativity,
Oh.
critical thinking, emotional intelligence.
So like the human stuff.
Yeah, like the uniquely human skills.
Well, things that make us human.
Right.
Okay, I like that.
So instead of being afraid of AI, we should be thinking about how can we work alongside it.
Become friends with the robots.
Yeah. Become friends with the robots
I can do that.
and leverage its strengths,
Yeah.
because AI is really good at certain things.
Definitely like processing huge amounts of data.
Exactly.
Way faster than we ever could.
And so if we can figure out how to use AI to our advantage, then it can actually make our jobs easier and more fulfilling.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. So that's the jobs piece.
All right, so what about privacy?
And then privacy is a whole other can of worms.
Oh, yeah.
Because as you know, our phones are already collecting tons of data about us.
Oh, yeah, like everything we do.
Everything we do. And AI has the power to connect the dots in ways that can be both fascinating and concerning.
Right, like it's cool that it knows what I like to buy.
Yeah,
It's also a little creepy.
it is creepy because it's like, how much does it really know about me?
Exactly. Like what else is it going to figure out?
And, they talked about how AI can analyze your browsing history, your location data, your social media posts to create a detailed profile of you.
And then what?
And then
What do they do with that?
what do they do with that?
That's the big question.
That's the big question. And, this is where I think we have to start having some serious conversations about, like, where do we draw the line
Right. Where are the boundaries?
between convenience and control?
Like, I love that I can just ask my phone to play my favorite song.
Right?
But I don't necessarily want it to know everything about me.
Exactly. So that's the privacy piece.
Okay. And the last one was power.
And then power.
Who's in control?
This is the big one. Who controls AI?
Right.
Who decides how it's developed, how it's used? These are questions with like enormous implications.
They are huge questions.
And we need to be having these conversations now.
Absolutely, before it's too late.
Before it's too late, yeah. Because, the technology is moving so fast.
It is.
And if we don't start thinking about these things now, we could end up in a situation where AI is controlling us.
Yeah, we don't want to become slaves to the machines.
We don't want to become slaves to the machines. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling a little bit overwhelmed after all of this.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in. But I also feel like I understand AI a little bit better now.
Me too. And I think that's the first step, right?
Yeah.
Like, we have to educate ourselves so that we can make informed decisions
Exactly.
about how we want to use this technology.
Yeah, because it's not going away.
It's not going anywhere.
It's here to stay. So we need to figure out how to live with it.
And how to use it for good.
And how to use it for good.
Yeah.
And how to make sure that it doesn't, get out of control.
Right. Control the robots. Don't let the robots control us.
Don't let the robots control us. So I highly recommend checking out the TrendTalk USA episode.
Oh, I second that.
It's called Decoding Artificial Intelligence.
I'm going to go listen to it again.
Yeah. And they're actually doing a follow-up episode called AI versus Your Job, Who Wins?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Which I'm definitely going to be tuning into.
Me too.
So, yeah, I hope this has been helpful.
It has.
And I hope it's given you some things to think about.
Yeah.
Because this is a conversation that we all need to be having.
Absolutely.
This is important stuff.
It is important stuff. All right, well, thanks for joining us on the deep dive, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.